Welcome back everybody, I am Sam Price from Access Skimboards and the New Zealand Skimboarding Association, and I'm here to talk to you about something today that is very popular among small sports and especially skimboarding here: how to get sponsored. Now that is a very common question I get through all platforms, and instead of focusing on the how-tos today, I wanted to focus on the how not tos. Now this isn't a very highly polished and professional guide. This is sort of a bit of a laugh, but all these points do hold true, so bear in mind it probably isn't the same through all companies, but these are just my views and my points for how sponsorships are handled and how not to be handled in my business. Right, now number one, I don't think this here needs to be explained too much, but number one reason for how to not get sponsored is by being a dick. I can't go into too much detail, but no one wants to sponsor a dick and no one likes people who are being a dick. So basically, if you don't want to be sponsored, just act like a dick. It's pretty straightforward. I don't need to explain that any further. That's number one. Number two, now this is why basically, from my dealings with sponsorships, this is why the number one reason actually of why people's sponsorships are removed. Now why obviously no one's going to be sponsored by quitting. You're not going to get a sponsorship in the first place. That's probably the number one reason of why people lose sponsorships is quitting. Now, skimboarding is not a very serious thing, but what people don't understand is it is a business transaction, and when you quit skimboarding, you are no longer of any business interest to that company. Now we could talk return on investment here, but that's probably a bit of a longer, more detailed, boring subject for you. But if you would like to see that, I can talk return on investment, and that can probably explain a lot more about how by quitting you are really zero value to that business and zero value to your sponsorship. Now number three, this is also a very common reason why people lose their sponsorships, and it'll be a very common reason why you will not get sponsored in the first place: expecting everything you get for nothing in return. Now once again, this is return on investment. The company is effectively giving you money, even though they may only be giving you product. They're still shelling out money to produce that product. So when you expect everything for nothing in return, there's actually no business return here, and that again, once again, is a business transaction. You have to provide some worth for the product you're getting given. Typically, the way I do work it is the more return you're providing for me, the more things you get in return. Now that does start from you. It does not start at the company's end. They will not shell out thousands or hundreds of dollars worth of equipment for you when you're providing no worth for them. Now that may be different with other companies, but it doesn't work that way for me. You basically start on a base with a base product, base salary, if you will, and we go from there. The more worth you provide for me, the more you get in return. So by expecting everything for nothing, you will not get sponsored. Number four, which is very popular in this day and age, is being a hipster. Now that may be quite offensive and may upset a few of you hipsters out there, but number four probably doesn't need too much explanation, is by being a flippin' hipster. Why is that so bad and will not get you sponsored? Because number four, being a hipster, is very relatable to number one, which is being a dick. So if you need more explaining, you can go back to the start of this video where being a dick was explained, and you'll find out why being a hipster will not get you sponsored. Now number five, which is last on the list, is writing like this. That will pop up on the screen if you can't see that properly. This is of course talking about your ability to communicate and sound like a half-by intelligent human being. This has become very important. Seeing this as a business transaction, you are dealing with a business. Now, I think the youth of today, not just the youth, this has started with text on phones years ago and has carried through, and now I think to become popular or whatever it is at young ages, we have to write like a complete dumbass who never did anything at school. This is important to me purely because it's a communication aspect and how you are going to be viewed. Now, while this isn't a highly professional trade, you do have to be able to communicate with people properly and sound somewhat intelligent in doing so. So if you do write like that, and you contact me with writing like that and something addressed in that way, chances are I may not even respond, purely because I'm dealing with someone who I'm already assuming isn't very intelligent, and I don't want to sponsor someone like that. I don't want someone like that on my team. So riding like a complete dumbass ain't gonna get you sponsored. Right, and that's a wrap for the video. Those are, of course, my top 5 reasons on to how to not get sponsored in skimboarding. These may not stay true for most companies, but they're probably all along somewhere along the lines of this. I highlighted those because those are the things that typically frustrate me and basically are the deal breakers when it comes to dealing with people in sponsorships, depending on what level you are. If you do feel like you would like some sponsorship and what you would actually like in return from the sponsorship, feel free to just drop a comment below or email me to any of the emails provided on the websites. Let me know what you think of this video. Share it to people if they are wanting to get sponsored. That's a wrap for the video. I may cover some more topics in the future on this. I am Sam Price. I will see you at the beach.